Good Saturday night, my friend. Hope this finds everybody doing good, and hope it finds you smoking your favorite blend and your favorite pipe. Hadn't been in too long, but finally made it home, boy, and or we give out. My wife and I both are just demolished. Had a good day, good day at the Boy Scout deal on the food trailer, and but are just wiped out. I am smoking some Sutliff cream brulee that Wild Inside Dean sent to me, and I was going to carry all three blends with me to the trailer today and messed around, forgot them when I left laying on the bar. I did luckily had some cupcake in the truck, so I made today all right. Didn't have no trouble, so. But I sure intended to take it, and I'm smoking it in Missouri Meerschaum Freehand cob. Everybody should have one of these in their rotation. This is the best $30 you'll ever spend. 30, 34. Scott at Aristocob did have them. I'm assuming he still does. This one came from Pipes and Cigars, but we should really support Scott at Aristocob. He does a lot in the community, and the next cob I buy, I'm going to buy from him. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. So it's got that good sizzle, as Guy Witherspoon says, and he'd love this one. Yeah. And Pipe Pappy Chris, I do remember you telling me about this one. We were talking about blends that say they taste like something on the tin, and you get it and it don't. I agree with you. This one does, and I do like it. You're right. I do like it. I've tried a couple other cream brulees. This is the best. Well, like I say, we were busy and had a good day and did a pretty decent breakfast business this morning. We had sausage and biscuit and that kind of thing. Sausage, egg, biscuit. Had kind of a wok thing. All this came pretty much pre-cooked, but I needed to keep it warmed up, and so we brought this thing out, and I actually laid the biscuits on that and then covered it back up, and it made them kind of crispy and flaky. And people said, "Man, those taste almost like McDonald's biscuit." That wok did it to them. It really kind of gave them a little brown crisp around them, and they turned out really good for a little cheap biscuit. But I'm glad it's over, and it'll be on to the Sweet Potato Fest. Dean, I watched your video, your bittersweet video, and buddy, let me tell you, you are so right about seeing your children leave home. I know when my son left, man, he left and went to Baton Rouge, about 4 hours away, and he'd come in to visit, and it's all I could do to watch him leave. I'd choke up just about every time. I'd have to turn from him so he couldn't see it, and I'd watch him till he got out of sight. I'd stand at the edge of at the edge of their carport, and I still do that. The other day he was in town, we met for lunch, and then he left and got on the road. We went one way and he went the other, and I watched him in my rearview mirror as far as I could see him. You'll never get over that. But yeah, he and he did the same thing. He was gone about a month before he really come and got everything. He did the essentials, but you're right, when they really finally come get their stuff. And he had a little pug dog that he left here, and when he come got that pug dog, it was that he'd had that dog since he was, I don't know, the dog lived to be about 15, 16 years old, and he'd had him since he was a little boy. And when he come got that dog, that you knew it was the real deal then. And I agree with you. It was tough seeing him leave and to see Miss Emily when she leaves. And I'm so thankful God blessed us, because it would be an empty house right now. It really would. It blessed us with that child. But yeah, she's Daddy's girl, and it's going to be tough to see her go. It sure is. So I do, in fact, feel your pain, Dean. I sure do. And again, thanks for these blends you sent up to try. I'm enjoying them. I surely am. Well, Trap Spirit did his rant the other day, and then Dale Oakey, cigar and pipe smoker, came back with a VR, and I did a little VR. Of course, deleted the original one because it got really way out there a little bit. But Dale was telling us, his ordeal with his daughter, and my heart goes out to you, Dale. And I'm thankful. We're all so thankful that your daughter's making a recovery, and I know. I can't imagine, like I told you in the comment, I can't imagine facing that and going through that with a tragic accident or anything like that, or an illness. But, my heart truly goes out to you. But you were talking about some of the insurance and dealing with those. I was going to tell this story. When our son was about maybe 3 years old, which this would have been in 88. My wife called me one day at work, and she said his name is Clayton. We called him Clayton. His name is Don Clayton, named after my dad. And of course, we called him Clayton when he got in school, and the teachers started calling him Don. That's his first name. He don't go by Clayton. We still call him that. But anyway, she said Clayton has put a popcorn kernel in his ear, and it's giving him fits. I said, how do you put a popcorn kernel? She said, I don't know. I popped him some popcorn, and he was in the floor. They were watching some movie on TV, and you know how kids will do things. He put the thing in his ear, and she said it's giving him fits. And she said, I've tried to get it out, and I can't. And I said, okay. She said, Dr. Irwin was our family, the pediatrician, and he was my doctor when I was a little boy. So we took him up there. I met her at Dr. Irwin's office. And by this time, it was hurting bad. It was tearing him up. And Dr. Irwin and the nurse and us tried to hold him down. And he worked with it. Nothing. Couldn't. He said, I can't get him still enough. I'm afraid I'm going to damage his eardrum. He must have fooled with that kid 45 minutes, and this was a walk-in, an emergency deal. He said, if I could get him still, I could do something with him. But he said, you're going to have to go around here and see this ear, nose, and throat doctor. He said, and maybe he's got something he can get it out with. But he said, I'm going to give him a shot to sedate him and ease up his pain a little bit. So he did. Knocked him right out. He said, look, this doctor, I think his name was Dana, he said, come right on in. He's waiting on you. Come right on over. And so we said thank you. And I went around to the front to ask the nurse, to settle up with her. She said, Dr. Irwin said, you didn't know him a thing. He wasn't able to help you. You don't know him nothing. I said, what about the shot? She said, he said nothing. So we went around there to the ear, nose, and throat, and he fooled with it a little bit. He said, I can't get it out. He said, if I could get him still long enough. He said, it wouldn't take 30 seconds to get it out. But he said, he's fidgeting, and he said, I'm afraid I'll damage his eardrum. He said, we're going to take him around to the hospital around the corner and we're going to put him to sleep. And he said, it won't, like I say, he said, it won't take 30 seconds to get that thing out. And he said, Dr. Irwin gave him a shot and said, I will be there at 4 o'clock. This was like 1 o'clock. So going around there, they're waiting on his hospital. So we went around, did all that, sat there and waited. 4 o'clock came, no doctor. 5 o'clock came, no doctor. Finally, about 6 o'clock, he come in there. I was hot. he had already, the shot had worn off. So he come waltzing in, and they put him to sleep. And sure enough, he wasn't just, 30 seconds, he came out with a little bottle and had that popcorn kernel in it. So anyway, we went on home. I got a bill from this cat where the hospital charged $488 for use of their facility. He charged $1,500 for surgery, minor surgery fee. And my insurance company refused to pay it. They paid him, I think, $500, said that was way beyond reasonable and customary charges. And on top of that, I got another bill from him for $188 for an office visit. This was in 1988, mind you. $1,500 was about like $3,000 a day. And we fought that, and finally he agreed to take the $500 that the insurance gave, and we paid him another $300 cash, and he called it even. Mr. Crook. Of course, he lives in about a $2 million house here, still around. But yeah, that's my brother did they had a paper to do in college, and his was titled "A $1,500 Popcorn Kernel" that year, and he got a straight A on it, and it was basically about how the medical profession will just rip you lock gate wide, and then you got to deal with the insurance company. But in that particular case, I can understand why they didn't want to pay that, and I didn't want to pay it either. That was just, I guess he needed to make a note on that $9 house he's living in. Now it's right the opposite. When I was having my hernia surgery, it was the hospital that's why we wound up at this surgery clinic, so I could get it paid for with nothing out of pocket. The surgeon wasn't but $1,500. The dang hospital bill here, they said, would run between $11,000 and $16,000, and I did it on one of those outpatient deals. And in Maryland, flew home the next day, and tripping all up there. I still, with my big deductible, I saved enough to make the trip, and let Emily and my wife and myself sightsee a day or two before in the D.C. area. So I don't know. But anyhow, some good smoking stuff here, y'all. The Sutliff makes it. It is a Sutliff blend, and Greenville lady, y'all try that. It's good. I'm just gonna go hit the hay. I about can't keep my eyes open. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good one, and God bless.